also a very, very warm day. So we're going to be getting started so we can get the program going so that we're not having to be out here in this hot weather too long. First thing I want to do is welcome everybody here to the entrance to the Port of Miami on Whiskey Boulevard, Port Boulevard. My name is Bill Johnson. I'm going to talk as loud as I can so that the commerce flowing all around us, which is a positive, good thing, you can actually hear me. I have the great honor of serving as the director of the Port of Miami, and it's with great pride that this month, June of 2008, I started my third year as our port director. And it is with incredible great pride that as I start my third year, we're able to gather this morning, on a beautiful morning, to celebrate the history of our port through the unveiling of a new port entrance feature, something that has been the vision of many of you in this audience for many, many, many years. It's a fine tribute that pays respect to the many women and men who have built this port over so many decades. The history of our port, and I'm not going to go long, but the history of the Port of Miami goes back just about 100 years in one form or another. And I think everyone in the audience recognizes the significance of the importance of the Port of Miami as a major catalyst, as a major economic generator, as a powerhouse in South Florida and in our community. I think everyone recognizes the importance of this publicly owned asset called the Port of Miami. Just to give you a sense of it, the last count, 2006, this port generated in excess of $16 billion to our economy, $13 billion of which was generated in cargo. $13 billion in cargo. The tribute pays respect, again, not just to our founders, the men and women who built this as a major cargo port in our state and our nation, but also to the pioneers who built the cruise industry. I think, again, it's worth noting that the modern-day cruise industry, as the world knows it, started here at our port, the Port of Miami, 41 years ago, this past December, with the Norwegian Cruise Line, soon followed by Mr. Ted Harrison and Carnival Cruise Line and Carnival Corporation. So, again, a unique publicly owned asset, but it's also an asset which generates in excess of 110,000 good-paying jobs in our community, and we're very thankful for that. I'm going to acknowledge just briefly, because again, it is a brief agenda, but I'm going to acknowledge a few people so that we can recognize the leaders who support this institution as well as our partners. But before I do that, we're going to do our Pledge of Allegiance, and then I'm going to introduce, before I do the introductions, we're going to actually have some words from above, some divine wisdom. But before I do that, I would like to go ahead and do the Pledge of Allegiance. So if you would, everyone please rise. I'll start us off. I pledge allegiance of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. First, going to hear, please be seated. The first we're going to hear this morning from Bishop Augustin Roman. And if he would come forward, the Bishop.
In the name of the Father, and the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Almighty and eternal God, we come today with great satisfaction and humility to bless this monument in honor of the many pioneers who, with great tenacity and service, move aggressively towards the goal of creating and operating the Port of Miami and the Miami International Airport into what they are today. We remember that in the early 60s, thousands of Cubans and people from other Latin American countries made Miami their home. Many of them started small businesses as international trade